tell you guys a little bit about myself. So, a lot of you I know very well. Some of you are meeting for the very first time, so I'll keep it real brief, not too much of an exciting story. But I started back in 2012. At that time, I was raising my daughter. I was playing college baseball, found out I was going to be a father, quit, went to work, got a job in a warehouse, and ended up working construction, so on and so forth. And, where I'm from in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area, everybody just kind of bounces around from job to job, mainly construction and everything like that. So I was doing roofing, doing plumbing, different things like that. And a lot of my friends were working for American Income, and they kept trying to get me on board. They're like, you'll be so good at this. I'm like, not a sales guy. I don't want commission. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm going to go rip this roof off, put this new roof on, and go home, and that's going to be it. And that's, I know I'm going to get a paycheck at the end of the week. Well, to be honest with you, I'll share you a little bit more than I may have in the past. I got in a little bit of trouble, to be honest. I was on the straight and narrow, but I got in a fight, okay? And I got in some trouble. So to be honest with you, I was almost forced into this company. I said no for a very long period of time. I was going to Christmas parties. I was like, they're all my best friends, and they were crushing it, and I just was not about it. And I pretty much got forced into the company, and thank God, seriously, thank God. So at that point, my back was against the wall. I had all these different, core cost fines, different things like that, and the math wasn't adding up. When you're ripping roofs off and putting them back on, and you're not the business owner, you're not really making much money, if that makes sense. So, I started with the company again in 2012. I called Mike Clemente up, and I said, listen, it's game time. Like I have no other choice. It's go time. So there was no dipping my toe in it. There was no this, that. It was just go time. And I said, listen, I really need to make some money, and you know why? And he said, be 100% coachable and work your butt off, and I guarantee you success. And those two things stuck out to me forever. And that's, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about. At that point, I was able to get out of all my debt. I made $89,000 my first year. A lot of people made a lot more, but, that was pretty much $1 million for me. Grew up in a single household. My mom was raising my brother and I would visit my dad, every so often and things like that. And, lived in a trailer park, lived in different housing projects. Didn't really come from very much. So 89 grand is like $1 million to me, to be honest with you. I told this story to my kids all the time. I'm going up to Pennsylvania next month for my brother's wedding. We're driving up. It's a 10-hour drive, and man, I'm not looking forward to that drive. But I plan on driving my kids around to the 13 different houses I lived in when we would move over and over again. And I'm hoping they see it. They're never truly going to understand exactly what it means because of this company, because of American Income. They'll never have to go through. Not that I went through it, but I'm just telling you, it's just such an amazing company, and I'm just so thankful. So went from an agent to a supervising agent within 6 months. Could have gone a little bit faster, but really wanted to solidify being an agent. Became a GA, had about 15 people running with Simon Arias Agency in an office just like this, bunch of people, right? Well, actually not just like this. This is like incredible compared to most other offices, but it was a very nice office, and had the chance. Simon called me and said, listen, doing very well, very successful GA there, doing about 20,000 a week. Another office isn't doing so hot. You want to go out there, but you have to leave your whole team. And I had to move the family, 3 hours west, and took another leap of faith, right? Took over the office and became an MGA, and broke all types of records. In 0 to 9 months, got the agency up to doing 72,000 a week. And the only thing out there was corn stalks, and that's about it. Like, it's in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, State College. Yeah. That's why I ran my deal. So then, had the chance to come on the dark side, the home office side. Pretty cool. I wasn't really sure what a director meant, but I got I seen the guys you were talking about going to 201. I seen Labasi, Domenico talking, like, what is a director? What is that? And had the chance to do it. And, now I have such a big impact, get to help out. And I just love it. So what a director does, partner with SGAs pretty much, not as partner, but that's how I look at it, as like teamwork, if that makes sense. And work with 4. I'm kind of like the liaison between, SGAs and home office. So can't wait to come back. Excited to be here. So I wanted to share a couple tips with you guys, on mentality and different things like that, and really focus on thoughts, right? Because our thoughts, they've been there since birth. They're not going away, right? They found real estate in our brain. They built a house. They're always going to be there. Number one is think about what you think about, okay? Taking an inventory of your thoughts and being aware of what you think about is the start of it, right? I heard this years ago, and it kind of sounded a little crazy to me. Think about what you think about. Like, what do you mean? Like, that sounds kind of a little crazy, but Simply put, be aware of your thoughts, right? When you're aware of your thoughts, you have a better opportunity of controlling them. When you pause for a moment and think about what you're thinking about, you could change your thoughts, right? If that makes sense to everybody. So researchers looked up a couple things over the weekend. Researchers estimate that we think 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. A day. That's a lot. Could you guys take a guess at the percentage that are negative? 60, 80, right on the money. 80% of 70,000 is 56,000 negative thoughts a day. It's noon. So that means I already thought what? Not a math, was 25,000? What did you think, right? So that's crazy to think, right? We don't realize it. We don't think about what we think about, right? So in this room, when Byron said there would be about 25 people, I took 80% of 70,000, which is 56, times 25 people. Today, there will be 1.4 million negative thoughts out of this room today. I get excited about negative thoughts. I was texting Byron last night. Yes, plane's delayed. Yes, 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 right? I just love it. Why American income? Because over 10 years, that's how it works now. But it takes time to get there, right? But the first step is thinking about what you think about, right? Tip number 2, win the argument in your head, okay? Met a lot of people, over the past few months via Zoom. Now that I'm here, I definitely see you guys are definitely good arguers. I guarantee there's some people out here that are undefeated, never lost an argument, ever, right? Definitely undefeated people in here, right? We argue with people, right? It's just how we are sometimes, right? But I want to encourage you to go undefeated with yourself in your mind. You got to win the argument up here, okay? When we have those arguments with ourselves, we have to be undefeated, with our mental selves, if that makes sense. When the alarm goes off in the morning, believe me, did not want to wake up this morning. I was like, I could probably just text Byron, listen, I could give all the excuses start. It just starts, right? I know it happens to me. I know it happens to you. It happens 56,000 times a day, right? Literally. So win the mental battle, right? As soon as it goes off. One of the best things I've learned is just immediately shut it off, right? A lot of times there's, when we close clients, I always talk about playing catch. Like you say you're closed, you throw it to them, and then you shut up, and then you're quiet. Well, I just try to shut my mind up instantly. Like when I start having that mental battle with myself, I just leave it alone. Say nope, and I don't even try not to go back and forth, if that makes sense to everybody. Tip number 3 is stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself. I remember being a new agent. I'm sure you guys heard this before, but putting down the mirror and talking to yourself, Brian, I'm sure you know. Talking to yourself before you go into the house. They're going to love you. You're going to kill it. You're going to do good. Why do we do that? To build ourselves up, to get excited. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. It sounds crazy, but it works. So when you think about what you think about and you win the argument in your head and you stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself, you know what happens? You get a positive attitude all of a sudden. All of a sudden, we have this positive attitude going on, right? A positive outlook on everything, right? So now that we have our mind right, let's talk a little bit about having a warrior mentality, right? How do we have a warrior mentality? It starts with vision, right? We have to have a vision, okay? We have to have a dream. We have to think big, okay? We have to think big. However big you're thinking, I guarantee you could think bigger, okay? Without vision, we lose focus, we get lost, right? Everybody's going somewhere in life, but very, very few people are going somewhere on purpose. Byron just talked about something he's going to do 6 months from now. That's vision. He wrote it down. Okay? What's yours? Where do you fit in with that? Where are you going to be from today when we're standing on stage together? How many people are you going to have on your team? How much production are you going to have? How many renewals are you going to be building? But it starts with vision. And just like Byron did, he wrote it down. I want to encourage you guys to write it down. When you know where you're going, you know what to do to get there. And you also know what to not do to get there, if that makes sense, right? We know what not to do. When you say no now to certain things, you get to say yes to a whole lot more, especially with this company, 100%. You got to remind yourself, short-term sacrifice, long-term solution, short-term sacrifice, long-term solution, constantly telling myself that, right? Since the last time I spoke, did you do the hard things? You can only answer that yourselves, right? And if you didn't, start doing those things. Let's make sure we recognize that person. We say, okay, pretty close. I know who that guy is. I know who that girl is, right? I want to encourage you guys to do that. So thank you for your time, BP Agencies. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
There you go, folks. Give me DePetro, spitting some fire. I appreciate your time.